History Channel presents a documentary on Ferdinand Magellan. Ferdinand Magellan was a Portuguese explorer and navigator in search or motivated by the 3 G's: glory, gold, and God. To be more specific, these are also things that he would gain:
new knowledge, fame, glory, wealth, new lands discovered, spread Christianity.
Magellan was also a very tough guy, too, and he was in many battles.
Ferdinand Magellan was the man who proved the world was round. Many people believed the world was flat at this time. Magellan showed great courage by wanting to sail around the world.
When Magellan was 10 years old, both his parents died. Since his parents were members of Portuguese nobility, he became a page for the Queen.
He studied at Queen Leonora's School of Pages in Lisbon. He was interested in cartography, astronomy, and celestial navigation. In 1505, he traveled with the new arriving Portuguese dignitary to India and got his first taste of sea travel. He moved around Southeast Asia.
While serving at court, Magellan was exposed to tales of the great Portuguese and Spanish rivalry over exploration and dominance of trade in the Spice Islands, also known as the Moluccas in modern Indonesia. Cloves, black pepper, cinnamon, and nutmeg were some of the most valuable spices in Magellan's day. Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna read you some of my findings. Well, they're not actually my findings. I'm scripted for this documentary. Ugh, gotta call my manager. Intrigued by promise of fame and riches, Magellan participated in several expeditions into India and Africa, and was wounded in several battles. He knew that Europeans had reached the Spice Islands by sailing east, but none had yet to sail west from here to reach the other side of the globe. Magellan wanted to be the first to do so and was very determined. He first got the idea of approaching the Spice Islands by sailing west across the Atlantic, rather than east around Africa, and then into the Indian Ocean.
Baller.
Magellan proposed a westward voyage to the Spice Islands. He tried to gain King Manuel of Portugal's support. The king denied his petition many times. In 1817, a frustrated Magellan renounced his Portuguese nationality and relocated to Spain to seek his support for his voyage. It would bring immeasurable riches to Spain.
Traitor.
Hello, y'all. Coach bag. Let me get my research out. Here we go. When he returned to Europe, he tried to get financing for an expedition to find the new western route to Asia, circumnavigating the globe. And King Charles V from Spain gave his blessing. Isn't that nice? Yeah.
In search of fame and fortune, Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan set out from Spain in 1519 with a fleet of 5 ships to discover a western route to the Spice Islands. The voyage was long, and only one ship returned home after 3 years later. The world was much bigger than he thought.
Hello again, and let me read you some of my research on Ferdinand Magellan in this book. After more than a month spent traversing the strait, Magellan's remaining army emerged in November 1520 to behold a vast ocean before them. They were the first known Europeans to see the great ocean, which Magellan named Mar Pacifico. The Pacific Ocean, for its apparent peacefulness, a stark contrast to the dangerous waters of the strait from which he had just emerged. Hope you enjoyed.
He assumed he would command a swift victory with his superior European weapons, and against the advice of his men, Magellan himself led the attack. The Mactanese fought fiercely, and Magellan fell when he was shot with a poisoned arrow. He died on April 27, 1521, and Magellan would never make it to the Spice Islands, and the loss of yet another one of his fleet vessels. The two remaining ships finally would reach Moluccas on November 5, 1521.
Oh, we're recording. Tell me next time. Hello, I'm back. Okay. Here's some more of my thoughts. In the end, only the Victoria completed the voyage around the world and arrived back in Spain in September 1522 with a heavy cargo of spices. But only 18 men from the original crew. Magellan's daring and ambitious voyage around the world provided the Europeans with far more than just spices. To be continued. Wah, 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 yeah.
Man! Although the trip westward from Europe to the east, the way of the Strait of the Magellan had been discovered and mapped. The journey was too long and too dangerous to become a practical route to the Spice Islands. Deuces.
America. Let me read my last thing. Nevertheless, European graphic knowledge was expanded immeasurably by Magellan's expedition. He was credited with the first navigation on the globe, but he covered the whole terrain, but not in a strict point A to point A, round the world trip. It was made in 2 different trips, not directly. Thank you very much for your time.
Next week's episode will feature the slave said to really circumnavigate the globe because Magellan died, and he should be the one with credit.